Bring me in.
You all set? Okay, very good. We've signed some executive orders. They were very important in just about every case. And it will go through the first
God,
one,
more?
please.
Yeah, of course more.
Do you want to?
Yeah, Mr. President, this is an executive order on crypto. We're going to be. Oh, sorry, we're doing AI first. Sorry, this is an executive order on AI. We're basically announcing the administration's policy to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Do you want to say your name, your full name?
David Sachs, AI and Crypto Czar.
David is one of the greatest in the world at AI. Most respected, probably.
Really actionable policy. Yeah.
So that should take us to the forefront, right?
Absolutely. We got to win.
Okay.
Thanks, I see it.
Thank you. And this, David, is?
Yeah, this is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
These are literally just virtue signals to the business class, like which sectors the United States government is going to use its tax money to bolster and reinforce and enrich. You know, that's it. None of this means anything. No, it means a lot. It means like it's the signal, you know? Yes, the government exists to siphon money from taxpayers into certain industries. These industries are now on the up and up, you know?
All right, David, that's for you. Thanks. You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but we're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check him out. There's nobody like this guy. They said, how did you get David Sachs? How did you do that? And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
This is an executive order establishing a presidential commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good.
Bets on a national crypto reserve. He has literally said that he's going to do that. The strategic Bitcoin reserve, i.e., billions of your taxpayer dollars being dumped into Bitcoin to increase the value of the coins already held by other people.
Do you want to explain that a little bit?
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry, as well as educational institutions, to make sure that America maintains its leadership position with respect to science and technology development in the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including the Department of the Interior, to promote federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them, sir.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe.
Without knowing anything about this, I'm going to guess that this is like a tiny tribe of like 6 people that decided the best way for them to get recognition would be to go like hardcore pro-Trump, and they're getting their payout. That would be my guess. I don't know whether that's true or not. That's just my guess. That's exactly what it is? Okay.
Okay, well, you'll send them a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
They were great. Okay?
And if you'd like, I could get them that pen, sir, as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted They should not have been prosecuted.
Terrible.
Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
Oh, that's interesting. During the 2020 U.S. presidential election campaign, then-candidate Joe Biden announced on October 8th, 2020, his support for federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe by pledging his backing to the Lumbee Recognition Act. 2 weeks later, Donald Trump also announced his support for federal recognition of the tribe via the same legislation. The following weekend, he held a rally there to shore up support among Native Americans. During the rally, Trump stated, "The Lumbee Nation is forgotten no more." Trump's rally was significant in that it was the first official visit to Robeson County by a sitting U.S. president in history. Historically, most of Robeson County had trended Democrat. However, Trump carried the county narrowly in 2016. In 2020, the margin of victory for Trump increased dramatically, probably the same for 2024. Many attribute this swing in Trump's favor to his visit and explicit support for recognition of the tribe by the federal government. I guess it shows doing rallies makes a difference.
They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Well, we'll see if anything exciting comes of it. I guess this is mostly going to be distractions.
And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you very
Mr.
much.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President,
85-year-old
Senators Collins
Reagan-appointed
and Murkowski
judge.
have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
And no surprises there. It's too bad. You know, it's the way it is. Too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very
Can you
strong.
imagine how based it would be if Democrats talked like this at all when Republicans are so violently obstructionist? Like, Obama was also silent about it toward the end of he was just like, I hope that I can reach a deal with the Republican Party. I hope Mitch McConnell likes this one. The Republicans can be as aggressively obstructionist as they want, and the Democrats do nothing about it.
Very popular and liked by the Democrats.
Talk like what, an idiot? They do talk about it. They just do intelligent ways. Zigabiz, this is cope to a degree that I no longer find tolerable. We can't allow this level of liberalism to fester in my community anymore. This mindset destroyed the country. You killed the country. They 100% talk about it. You can't gaslight me. Okay? Democrats will be like, yeah, Democrats do go hard on Republican corruption. And then they'll link to Joe Biden, like, at the end of the 4-minute press conference he can manage before the adrenochrome, like, taps out, he turns away, and then a reporter asks, how do you feel about Republicans over, like, for the 1 millionth time? And Joe Biden turns back to the camera and smiles slowly and goes, okay, and then turns around and walks out. And people are like, see? He's still got that sauce in him. Look at this like Instagram clip from AOC, the only Democrat in the House who does or says anything, apparently. Like, come on, you're not getting me on this, okay? We know the Democrats are pathetic.
I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they
It's
can.
sad the only effective way to talk about it sound like Trump. Zigabiz, you have been, I'm going to be honest with you, your chat logs go back years. You've been here too long to be this stupid on this issue. It's not about talking like Trump. It's about aggressively using the bully pulpit to convince people of your position, which they don't do. It's about being honest about how bad your enemies are. The problem with what Trump says isn't that he's aggressive or brash or mean about it. The problem is that he's lying and a fascist. If you weren't lying and weren't a fascist, then the stuff you said, even if it was with roughly this tone, would be fine. You can do other tones too, but you have to be aggressive with it.
Delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Finn support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John, and we'll see. And John Thune's a great guy, great senator.
They're going to have to use recess appointments for RFK. There's no way RFK Jr. gets through without a recess appointment. There's no way. Apparently, they've actually set a date for the Senate confirmation hearing for, blanking on a name as I always do, Tulsi Gabbard. So it looks like they're actually going to try to go through with Tulsi Gabbard without a recess appointment?
Stuff inside out and backwards, but I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Great.
And they said $600 billion they're going to invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said you're going to ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be the first foreign country you will visit since they invest in that much?
Well, if they do that, I would, yeah. I would be glad to do that. I did it, as you know, 4 years ago. We did $450 billion, meaning the money all goes to American companies, and they purchase jets and they purchase computers and everything else. And we did $450 billion, and I guess we're at 650. And I'll see if I can talk him into it.
I don't think it is again. You showed great confidence in Steve Witkoff. Why you said that you doubt that the ceasefire in Gaza will hold, since you appraised his
Well, no, I think he's
efforts?
great, but it's a very tricky place. It's very tricky. We'll see. And if something does happen, they will not be happy.
Sir, follow up on that one. In terms of Steve Witkoff, are you going to put him in charge of Iran's strategy, and do you want him talking directly with the Iranians?
No, but he's certainly somebody I would use. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great negotiator. He's a very good person, a very popular person. Gets along with people. I have great negotiators. They have no personality whatsoever, and then I have some that do. Steve has a wonderful way about him, and people like him, and even in this case, both sides like him. And he was able to make a deal. That deal would have never been made without Steve. The Biden people couldn't make the deal. They were working on it for 1.5 years. They couldn't make a deal. We got it done prior to the inauguration. We said it has to be before the inauguration.
Are there any more good sound bites
I mean,
from
it should
this?
hold, but if it doesn't hold,
Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States
5% of GDP on defense. That's so crazy, dude. I can't believe he said that. Every country, 5% of GDP on defense? Oh my God. That's so crazy. There's no way that's happening. Not even we could sustain that. Maybe mostly we couldn't sustain that.
States don't spend 5%.
Well,
That's Cold War respect. No, that's more than Cold War respect. That's insane. It's insane.
It should also apply to the United States.
we're protecting them, you know. They're not protecting us, we're protecting them. So I don't think we should be spending, I'm not sure we should be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%, yeah.
Mr. President, you said earlier during your speech at Davos.
But like I said, like it has nothing to do with real policy. It's just signaling that we're going to divert more taxpayer dollars into the MIC, you know? That's it. There are no politics behind this administration except how do we weaponize culture war talking points to divert more wealth from the planet into the hands of like 5 people. That's it. That's the only thing that I'm going to keep saying it, and it's going to keep being true. Everything else is a distraction.
That you would like to see interest rates come down. How much would you like to see them come down?
A
And
lot.
will you talk
I'd
with
like to see
Powell?
them come down a lot, and oil prices will
0%.
come down. And when oil prices come down, everything's going to be cheaper for the American people and actually for the world, but for the American people. So I'd like to see oil prices come down. And when the energy comes down, that's going to knock out.
No, EOs have legal authority nuts. It's just executive orders are only operate within the purview of the executive branch's powers, which refer to the administrative state, and the ability to execute on and enforce existing laws. But there are limits to what you can do with budgets, because budgets have to be run by Congress, and a lot of stuff is subject to like review from, like it can be challenged through the courts. But it's they're not toothless at all. The executive branch has a lot of power on its own, more so than it has historically, I would say, especially with regard to the fact that you don't even need Congress to declare war anymore. Well, military spending was 10% of GDP during the Cold War. Really? That doesn't sound right, but I guess I could be wrong. I'll look at it later, but either way, yeah.
A lot of the inflation, that's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
Are you worried that there's too much going on?
You said that you would demand.
Are you worried that there's too much going on at once if you're trying to bring interest rates down, get the economy back going?
It just works that way. I mean, it's just economically works that way. When the oil comes down, it'll bring down prices, then you won't have inflation, and then the interest rates will come down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would.
Do you expect
I would put in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk to Powell about this and bringing the rates down?
At the right time, I would.
Sir, do you any of the people you pardoned that were participated in the January 6, 2021 attack? Do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. I mean, people understand that also. And they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that. So I'd be open to it, certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet in some of the congressmen, women.
I was convinced to sign the draft by my parents. I'm fucked. I wouldn't be too worried. If there's any lesson the elites learned from the Vietnam War, it's that drafting people makes everyone hate the war that you're drafted to, which makes it difficult to continue to justify siphoning money into the MIC, Like, the only goal here is to divert money into these companies, right? So you don't need, like, a bunch of soldiers. You don't need war, even. You don't need... Maybe you can have, like, an indefinite drone war in some shithole, like, I don't know, Yemen or whatever, but not like a... You don't need, like, a real war. There's no need for it, really. Like, I'll put it this way, okay? Has Apple needed to find some social pretext for the mass annihilation of iPhone 13s in order to justify selling people iPhone 14s? No. You just sell people iPhone 14s. Materialism, or sorry, I should say consumerism, gets people on that front. When it comes to the Pentagon and their contracts, they don't even need that. They're compelled to spend.
Want to meet, but I'd certainly be open to it.
Have you spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr. President,
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like to.
Mr. President, what did you mean when you said that Biden took bad advice and not pardoning himself yesterday?
Well, he did. I think he did, because he pardoned all these people that are crooked as hell. Look, the congressmen, they're crooked. What they did is they destroyed evidence. When you destroy evidence, especially criminally like that, they did it criminally. And the reason they destroyed the evidence is because it proved that I was right. They didn't destroy evidence for no reason. They destroyed it because they found many documents saying that I offered 10,000 soldiers.
Again,
if they had
this is
500
not
soldiers or National Guard, there would have been no problem. If they had 200, that would have been. I offered 10,000 if they needed them.
True.
There would have been no problem. That's been now totally disproven, and it's also been disproven by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who has her on tape saying it was her fault, that she has full responsibility for this. And they have all that stuff. They destroyed everything, and they go through a year and a half, 2 years of nonsense. They come up with tremendous evidence, and they destroyed evidence. And Schiff knew about it. That's why he's on there. He knew all about the destruction of evidence. A lot of people said
he's
done
with the weave?
Document, from what I understand, every document, because it proved that.
Oh my God, he's still on it.
I was totally innocent. In the deal of very, very smart people. But Elon, one of the people he happens to hate, but I have certain hatreds of people too.
Sir, Sir, on China, what do you...
Considering how much the U.S. sells in weapons, would forcing other countries to spend more on defense then by proxy force them to buy more from the U.S.? Yep. Yep, that happens 100%. We are the #1 producer and exporter of weapons in the world, like by an enormous margin, both in like the quantity of production in some sectors and also in terms of how technologically advanced they are. So if these militaries are compelled, or sorry, if these governments are compelled to spend so and so much money on their military, where they buy from, you know? That being said, it's not all about American companies. Remember, capital is international, okay? The people who make a fuck ton of money selling missiles here in America get along with the people who do so in France. Like, they're you know, they're together on this. They're not like competing forces. They work together.
Think Xi Jinping can do on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Which one?
The Ukraine-Russia war. What can Xi Jinping do about that?
China?
Yeah.
They have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia.
Why does he keep bringing up Christine Pelosi? Because I forget the details, but it's a false claim by Republicans that there is some evidence that Nancy Pelosi is lying about the timeline of requesting National Guard assistance at the Capitol on January 6th, based on communications between Pelosi and her daughter. But I went over this before during the January 6th committee. It is bullshit. I just don't remember the exact reasons why it's bullshit. It's like, yeah, the Pelosi's daughter was doing something and they communicated in a way that has been maliciously and deliberately misinterpreted to pretend that Trump and his cronies weren't blocking aid to the Capitol. It's something to that. You know, it's I don't remember every detail, but it's bullshit.
And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things to, you know, it's really a very big trade. It's a very big trading partner. But Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. That China pays them a lot of money for that. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make a deal. Maybe they want to make a deal. I think, from what I hear, Putin would like to see me, and we'll meet as soon as we can. I'd meet immediately. Every day we don't meet, soldiers are being killed in a battlefield. And that battlefield is like no battlefield since World War II. That's
Ukraine wants
and I have pictures that you don't want to see. Soldiers are being killed on a daily basis at numbers that we
Trump's like
haven't
the
seen
chatters who got
decades.
7-day bans earlier today.
And it'd be nice to
He's
end
like,
that
it's
war.
crazy
a
how
ridiculous
desensitized
war.
I've gotten
You
to
said that
this
Ukraine's ready
Ukraine
to make
war
a
footage.
deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that personally?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's somebody that lost a lot of soldiers, and so did Russia. Lost a lot. Russia lost more.
We get it. We get the weave. We get the weave. We get the weave. We're a little crunched on time today, which is one of the reasons why I'm moving a little bit faster than I would otherwise. There's other stuff I want to cover. I have to do what I can. In terms of, we're getting these nice day-by-days. Usually I just go to AP News. What do we have? First batch of new forces being deployed to El Paso and San Diego. Demand for lower interest rates, transgender people, removing barriers to AI. Hegseth told Senator he paid $50,000 to woman who accused him of 2017 sex assault. Well, clearly it didn't stop him from being put through to final confirmation on Friday. That's cool. Welcome back, Drake. Trump pardons anti-abortion activists who blockaded clinic entrances. Yeah, that sounds about right. Trump called it a great honor to sign this. Among the people pardoned were those involved in the October 2020 invasion and blockade of a Washington clinic. This looks about right. Oh my God. Lauren Handy, 30, was among several people convicted of federal civil rights offenses for blockading access to the Washington Surgery Clinic. Police found 5 fetuses at Handy's home in Washington after she was indicted. I remember this. Yeah. She's been pardoned. She, like, stole fetuses or something. I assume she was one of the ones pardoned because they're mentioned here. I mean, that's what it links to. Man, it's gonna get bad, huh? It's kind of like right-wing crime is legal in Washington, D.C. now because everything there is a federal charge, so Trump can pardon you. Like, he's already begun pardoning a bunch of obvious criminals and thugs and so on and so forth in Washington, D.C. because if you get arrested there, like, it's a federal charge because you're not in a state, you know? Jesus. Does a president not have a limit to pardons? No. He pardoned his brown shirts and gave them a kill list by removing securities from John Bolton. Yeah, I'm not one to shed a tear over John Bolton and his personal safety or anything, but, you know, one new update. Oh, we look with dread. Treasury Department deploys extraordinary measures to avoid breaching debt ceiling. Oh, okay, that seems pretty normal. Wait, hold on. He says the Treasury Department stopped paying into the G Fund, a retirement fund for government workers. Okay, never mind. Sorry, just I forgot. It's like Treasury Department tries to avoid hitting debt ceiling. Okay, all right, that's pretty normal. You know, look at the text. The place where they've decided to cut the spending is the retirement fund for government workers. Ooh. Have they done anything that can be possibly construed as beneficial for anyone? Genuinely, no. In 2016, a lot of the stuff that Trump did, I shouldn't say a lot of, some of the stuff that Trump did immediately was like obvious populist, like tossing chum into the water. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here you go. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember when Trump was inaugurated back in 2017. Afterwards, there was an attempt to pretend to appeal to a more general interest. What about that Native American tribe earlier? I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the Lumbee tribe. Yeah. The fact that the county went red does not mean that they shouldn't have federal recognition. So, okay, yeah. They still owe that money to the fund. This is just buying time. Yeah, it's always, don't worry, they'll pay it until they don't pay it. Trump administration just ordered a blackout on public communications by agencies across government. Multiple officials tell me, here's a memo from Health and Human Services I obtained describing the comms blackout. Wait, I thought this public communications blackout only referred to like the health agencies. Is this a new thing? Is this separate from the one we talked about yesterday? Because yesterday it was Health and Human Services, you know, in that ballpark. Stuff RFK is going to be heading. Is it like broad? The new administration considers its plan for managing the federal policy. Public services, president's please have the opportunity to review and set guidelines through February 1st. I think this is the same thing as before. I think this is the same thing as before. I think this is referring to the same blackout that we heard about the other day. This is just a copy of the document. I believe. I think. Have we mentioned the GOP thinking about Medicaid cuts? They've been thinking about it for decades. If they actually start to put through Medicaid cuts, though, I promise you there's going to be 50 videos a day out from this channel on it. There will be blowback eventually. We're in the honeymoon period right now.